Hey, Proxy Table fans, we are here on YouTube for another of our book reviews. I am Lucky Sixes, and this is PTG. Hyperg.
PTG, Hyper-G.
Yeah.
Also that, yes.
Which is your handle on the forums, if you want to.
It is, and you also have PTG in front of Lucky Sixes
I
on the
do.
forum as well.
What a good segue. So yeah, if you've been keeping up, this is another one of our videos, in which case we're going through all of the balance patch updates. This is
in phase one
of the MCU. This is where we're going to be looking at the Dread Elf book.
Lots of fun to come.
Absolutely. So we'll get straight on because we're trying desperately to make this below 3 hours, which is our normal book review thing, and we've done quite well actually for some of the others.
Two recent books. I think it was good.
Yeah,
good
and
going.
alpha books, we got them under 40 minutes, so that was good. We'll try and endeavour, as always, to make this as brief as possible for your lovely eyes and ears, and which may mean we miss stuff. So that's the compromise, guys.
Yeah.
But if we do,
that's
you
just
can tell
PTG.
us about it. Yeah, you can tell us about it in the comments, as you always do.
Amazing.
Very, very good.
Some really good morale boosting comments as well, like people saying how much they like about stuff. And it's lovely to hear that.
It's why we do what we do, because of your comments, because of the community we have and engage with, and for sure, and a lot of time is those comments and seeing you at tournaments and stuff like that as well, and saying, "Oh, you're that guy." But we're here to
let's not get distracted.
To start off with, let's go.
Yes. All right.
And we are on to Academy Trained as the first thing for the Army Wide rules, and this is a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle to see how it's going to really affect things too much. It effectively says the same as it used to, but it's a different way of saying it. I struggle with it actually in terms of how to assess its difference.
Sure.
But it is in blue text, so it must be. So there must be something in there that's different.
So they still get the devastating charge and +1 extra +1 rank than what they have.
It really drills in that it has to be a unit entirely of infantry models. Like it drills in throughout the book. So that must be a thing.
So clearly, don't put your raptors with them, raptor riders with them. Come on, guys.
Dayab riders.
Yeah.
Dayab raptors.
So, but for the most part, it's the same. It's really reiterating that. Coastal Predator and still get the devastating charge, hard target. Again, with parameters. Then there's been
so instead of now having your whole unit within the terrain feature, you only need the center of your unit, or more than half of your unit. It's a bit easier to clarify compared, because there used to be and some units and some models. It's that sort of thing.
And a lot of stuff has with its center as like the rule. So it's, I guess, trying to unify that as much as possible. Basically.
I think so. Yeah, but it does the same thing in effect.
Hunting bolus and professional courtesy has gone. Although I know that professional courtesy is in one of the.
So hunting bolas is basically all bolas, if you say that like that. Are gone. Like the Saurians lost it as well. They lost a version of their weapon, the slingy thing. They lost theirs, and so Dread Elves have lost theirs as well.
You can't just swing your bolas all around.
No, you shouldn't. You
Not
shouldn't.
Anymore.
No, so
be more careful.
Get out of there. And professional courtesy is the exclusive rule. That it is now used differently, but exclusive covers it, so don't worry about it.
Center blood's the same. The attack attributes, I think, are all the same.
And the weapons. And the
hereditary is just a change of the name. It's or is it?
No, actually, there is something in the change log.
It's +1 cast. That's what it is.
So
the name is actually the same. We've given you already gone wrong. But it's +1 to cast. So it's 8+ instead of 7+.
Yeah, and they've also changed it so it has a limit of 2 Veil tokens spent per phase, and it inflicts 3 fixed hits per token spent, which is different to what it used to be. So
sure.
So I think
the only thing that stayed the same is the name.
Yeah, possibly that should be what's in blue. But yeah.
So some slight tweaks. It's got a bit more harder to cast as well.
Yeah. Oh, good though.
Special items, and
don't do it.
For them, it is just price changes here.
Oh, good. Yeah, they know. They know. They know.
Yeah, because don't worry.
Magic attacks. They know that.
It's been moved to Roberts, but we won't say that. So
exactly.
Really quickly, Lacerating Touch 5 points more expensive.
Master
of Slaughtery 5 points less expensive. Transcendence the same. Crippling Frost the same. Darius Armor Enchantment the same.
Yes, we're rattling through.
Banner enchantments, just prices again. So Cadrian's Pennon 5 points more.
Yeah.
Executioner's Icon 5 points more.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Into artifacts. Excuse me. Moilthro's Mirror is gone cheaper.
Yeah. This is an interesting one because I think I missed a lot of the changes that have happened since I took it in the very first tournament.
Sure.
But it's just clarifying that, well, it says at the end on each of the attacking models units. So that's really cool, I think. You have to read the whole thing to understand.
So if it's multi-charges.
Yeah.
So whereas before it was on one unit,
yeah.
It's now on anybody that charges it.
And
it can be
multiple
units separate. So that's really good. It's gone to 3 hits instead of D3 plus 1 as well. So by and large, better than
and cheaper.
Yeah. So really good. Seal of the Ninth Fleet gains Academy, but I think it did before. It's just a rebrand.
No, actually, Academy Trained is just changed from the old name. It used to be called Academy Training. Now it's called Academy Trained. So a lot of that could be because of that.
Yeah.
This next one. This is an auto take as far as I'm concerned. In a world where AP is harder to get Spectral Blades. Right. I tell you.
So your AP 10, and you're re-rolling probably on 5s at worst. Like at absolute worst.
Yeah, because of Artistry of Deathstroke.
So good. So
this is. It used to be wheel turns, which Dread Elves didn't need at all. Arguably.
Same price as well. So bounce spell 40 points. Get it in.
This is in auto take.
Oh, for sure. The ring's got a bit cheaper, but works the same. And the whistle has got a bit cheaper, but works the same.
Fine.
So big win for the scales.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. Massive.
Right, on to characters, and we move on to the Dread Prince, who's got 10 points more expensive.
And he's lost Deadly Riposte as well.
Yeah, so has he? I was going to say, he's lost that rule entirely, hasn't he?
Yes, he has, but he has upgraded his Ruthless Efficiency to Artistry of Death.
Yes.
So he's always +1 to wound instead of just on the first turn of combat.
Great.
So it's a bit of a trade. Deadly Riposte used to be quite cool, but he has gained an attack in exchange for it.
Yeah.
I think that's better. Overall. I think it's better. Yeah.
Simpler. You know what you're going to get with him, and I think as well, 215 is not too expensive. You might see a few cowboys running around. For Dread Elves as well, especially maybe on some raptors or horses and things like that. Maybe even the chariots actually, because 315 basic for chariots are pretty good. So I can see this actually creeping up a little bit in the future. Maybe. So if you're a Dread Elf player, I would get spamming them as much as possible.
So it says Lucky Sixes.
Yeah. I believe the Dread Princes are pretty good. Beastmasters.
It's got cheaper.
A bit cheaper.
Yeah. The bonus is that he fits on the same page as the Dread Prince now.
Yeah, so I mean, exactly. He has got cheaper, but the Manticore and the Imperious Dragon has got a bit more expensive. If you want those things, and I guess that's just one of the tweaking they do in these balance patches sometimes to make that the same, because that should be worth it. But Selection Officer, Tactician is a bit more wordy this time round, and I don't think it does anything different.
No, it's emphasising the entirely of infantry models thing again. And obviously now it's called Academy trained rather than training.
Was was the cavalry getting academy trained at all?
No, I don't think they were.
Maybe
I think there is an item. We've gone past it. The Seal of the Ninth Fleet that could give a unit academy train, but then it's also, I don't know. I'm not sure really, but clearly they've decided it needed clarifying.
So all it is a clarification there. But he stayed the same points and works the same otherwise. The Temple Exarch.
Oh, I mean, the Exarch's been through the ringer over the months it's been in existence.
Yeah. Well, he's lost professional courtesy, and he
not gained exclusive.
Now, this is something that's obviously going across all the books in the exclusive point of view, which means you can have multiple. He used to be able to have multiple, and now he couldn't, and now he has again.
Well, you used to only have. You always could only put one in each unit of militants, or one in each unit.
Sure.
Not only militants. Now the exclusive thing's gone entirely. And,
multiple.
I personally had a bit of a headache with only putting one in each unit and choosing which unit was the best for him. Or now you could just have. And it's an infinite number as well. There's no 0 to 4 on this. You could just have,
I guess, points.
4 of them in one unit.
Yeah.
Which would be amazing. Or 5, and then all of them have got 4 pages in the front rank.
Right.
I'm telling you now, do it. 1,000 points.
Here we go.
1,250.
Death Star.
Yeah. Or 4 of them in the front rank.
Yeah, that is interesting, really, with that. That's the only change, really. He's got slightly more expensive. But
I mean, this is the least changes he's had. She's had in a book change for Dread Elves. So,
right.
Yeah. I mean, I still miss the whole divination and alchemy options.
Yeah.
I mean, they've still got divination and alchemy, but they used to be not the Warsmith. They used to be the other one, Oracle or whatever it was. I still miss that a bit, but it's all right. It's just what it is now.
Yeah.
So, it's cool.
But yeah, no, it does exactly what it's been doing for a little while, and but you can have more. Which again, I'm sure there's some shenanigans in that.
I think there is. I mean, I'm already thinking about it, and I wasn't before this video, so you know.
Warlock Outcast is 5 points more expensive and works the same. No change there. So the assassin is gained hidden, but that's just the
strike from the shadows rule just changed,
and it's got 15 points cheaper. That's pretty good.
I think it's because the Vermin book, the assassin in that is a lot cheaper.
Sure.
So this guy had to become cheaper because the Vermin one was just so much better than him. I don't know offhand what the Vermin one is points wise. We'll find out. But I think this is moving him in the right direction. So.
Sure. Yeah. No. But yeah. Otherwise, not too many changes, and I guess because this is a patch change rather than alpha change, that's a general thing. For all the thing. Mounts wise, I keep scrolling. It's only Manticore that's had any sort of change whatsoever, and that's just a clarification for solitary to exclusive now, which is the new rule for basically solitary. So we can move on to core, which is good. We see the Selection Spears go up in points ever so slightly.
I think they had to. MSU core was kind of a thing.
Yeah. Right.
For Dread Elves, and Selection Spears were really good.
It's just addressing that, but even so, it's only addressing it ever so slightly.
It's a tiny bit.
I wouldn't worry too much. The militants, don't worry, they're exactly the same. So I haven't got a drop, which is, I guess, what you'd probably be looking at, because Selection Spears would use so much more.
Well, now I'm putting 5 Exarchs in the front rank, so boom.
Maybe that's been thought of. Yeah, exactly. So onto the raiding party, and no bollers, as we can't swing their bollers around.
No, they cannot.
I'm sure they still have light troops, don't they?
Yeah, they do with the Corsair rule.
Oh yes, sure. So the Corsair has been pumped into them.
They've lost the Ruthless Slavers rule, which was a whole load of text, and they just don't need it anymore. So I'm not even going to explain what it was because no one cares.
No,
it doesn't matter anymore.
I'm looking at that though, and I know that's the rule itself is not too different. It's just added in a few things. I can't see why you would go Beastbreaker over Corsair, if I'm honest. I guess the rule
price.
Yeah, I just even with I guess if you're doing a themed army,
cannot be stomped could be useful if you're using it as a chaff unit in front of a monster. But, still, it's fairly niche, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be my only take on it. But that isn't a change from this. It's just what's added. So, it's. I'm trying to look at differences, but I don't think there is any differences. It's just been added into the rules, isn't it? So selection auxiliaries. These
really
guys...
interesting to see suppressing volley go completely.
Yeah.
It's a big wall of text that's just gone. I don't think it really harms them. So
no, sure. What did it do before then?
Oh God, there's a question. Because it's a big paragraph. I'll pretty much read it or try and summarize it. It meant that the auxiliaries, if they declared that they were using suppressing volley, then they couldn't charge themselves, and the enemy unit you nominated got a -1 to hit, if your units charged them.
So it's a shenanigan. You're taking away any sort of shenanigans. They are your basic.
It's the kind of thing that could win you the game because your opponent forgot it existed. And now it doesn't exist, so don't worry about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shadow Riders, they are slightly more expensive and lost their bowlers.
They can't swing them around.
They lost their bowlers. The repeater crossbows are more expensive, though, which is good.
And they,
had to be,
really. They needed to be.
Moving on to special, and the Warlock Acolytes are ever so slightly more cheaper and have Ancestral Aid.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They had before. No, they had that before, so I don't know why that's blue. It is more expensive to get a thing on here. So overall, if you're using them as a Enclave guy, they're slightly more expensive.
I think that's because of the Rending Banner going and Perception of Strength being a very, very useful tool for Dread Elves.
Yeah.
I think that's why Champion has got more expensive, because AP is so desperately hard to get hold of. And Perception of Strength is +1 AP.
And Ancestral Aid is not that great of a spell for Dread Elves.
When you've got lightning reflexes, you might be hitting on 2s anyway. But
you go up against another Dread Elf unit, and it's always useful. Dread Knights, don't worry about it. They're the same. They work exactly the same, and they're the same price.
No academy training, so don't worry about that.
Yeah. Obsidian Guard. So they have got.
This is the one with the hold the line. I said in the previous video that it was all about the Greybeards rule, but these guys have got it. It's the reroll panic vests within 6 inches.
But they had that with Will of the Senate. It's just been turned into its own thing. But yes, the rulebook change really there
with lots of spaces between the words.
With lots of spaces. It's that weird
hold
text, isn't it?
The line.
Adjudicators haven't changed. So interesting that there's no change really in Obsidian Guard and Adjudicators at all. They're good as they are, I guess.
Or maybe the pricing's right, but the application is still up for grabs.
Yeah. Harpies have gained the rule of this raking clause for strength 4, AP 0, sweeping attack.
But they did lose an attack each, so I think it's a trade-off, really.
I think you were never having them in combat, I guess, is the thing, and you'll maybe get 5 extra strength 4 hits on them.
The thing is, this means you can do a sweeping attack while you're chaffing, as opposed to not getting your attack because you're dead.
They've lost 2 inches of movement, though.
It's quite big,
10, 16, 10, 8, 8, 16, rather than 10, 18.
They've only lost 2 March, but they've lost 2.
I don't think Raking Claws is going to be that impressive, if I'm honest, as a rule.
No, but they are more expensive for
much of a muchness. Again, they're going to be used exactly the same. You're not going to be suddenly changing how you use them, I don't think.
Nope.
So cool, I guess. Gorgons have gone down to attack 3.
Yeah, they were attack 4.
Everything else stayed the same, which means they've got worse quite drastically, really.
It's a bit of a nerf, for them.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Not sure why
Mr. Craig did say that they had to be taken, so maybe that's why they've brought them down.
Yeah, so I guess rather than points, they've taken an attack. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Thunder Packs. So
really interesting one. This.
Yeah, a real interesting.
It was a new entry into the Dread Elf book, and I think that the overwhelming this looks interesting just got replaced by it's not that interesting.
Yeah.
So this is their rework.
So
I think it's a good one.
They've taken the strength, devastating charge away. Basically, they're not dependent on the charge. They have double the attacks at strength 6, AP 1 rather than 5, AP 2.
They've got everything they used to rely on with a devastating charge. They've now got it in their profile.
Yeah.
And they've also got devastating charge terror, which is amazing.
Yes, yeah. That's
still
good.
Terror.
They have swift reform, which is a nice addition.
Yeah. They did lose light troops.
Lost light troops, which is bad. And I think the thing that strikes me really is that they don't have that new rule of extra attacks in the second rank.
No, it's the support thing. Yeah, that's interesting actually.
Being a large beast, do they get 3? I don't think they do they?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
So
yeah,
the biggest thing that strikes me is if you're going to encourage people to have more bigger
6
units
of them instead of 3. Yeah.
So
the most you could really take is 4 to be any use, isn't it?
Yeah, it strikes me as that you only want them single row sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably 4 or 5 is a bit unwieldy, isn't that? Yeah,
it's interesting. AP is obviously
cheaper
down.
Though. Cheaper as a basic.
The AP's gone down as well, so
that's all right.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think these have been the most reworked. I'm not sure how they play. I honestly don't know. It's great that they've got extra attacks and an extra strength for sure. Trying to think what may be better against monsters.
Their march has also gone up, which is useful.
Yeah, so can move around a bit more. But I guess with the loss of light troops, you won't see that too much.
No.
But yeah, interesting one.
It's a different kind of unit in Dread Elves, so it might be useful.
Yeah. Most of the change has gone on to them for sure, to try and get them usable. Rat chariots were quite cheap before, and they've gone up 20. So what's that? 10% in terms of that. So yeah, quite a relatively big change there. Divine Altar.
Sad.
Yeah, it's got cheaper.
It has. They're trying. They are trying.
The channel 3 is in there, and there's no frenzy as standard. I mean, you basically switch that when you go to Crucible of Slaughter. Switch the frenzy in the channel 3 around, so there's a slight change there when you get Crucible of Slaughter. Effigy of Dread.
And they've taken out the part about using Bale tokens to expand the range of it. It's just a flat buff. Not buff wagon, hex wagon.
Yes.
Now, I suppose it's actually a buff wagon because you're giving fear to your friendly models.
You are,
and taking it from
which helps models. With scent of blood, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Scent of blood is maximized charges, but what did you mean?
What's the one with fear? If something has fear, it gains. Is it not scent of blood as well?
No, scent of blood is if an opposing unit has lost a wound, then you get to charge it easier.
Maybe there's an item that's something to do with fear. Hang on, I'm just going to check.
There is an item, Mask of the Warcrow. If something's got fear, then you get reroll 1s to wound.
So that one.
So there is that, yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, I still mourn my whole -1 res option, which is long gone. But I guess it's fairly cheap for a wagon that is, I think you have to find a way of protecting it. But no, it's all right. It's still res 5, Aegis 5 up with 5 HP. So, it's still respectable. But a bit of less text is definitely the right way to go with it.
Yeah, sure. And as if you go the effigy of Dread, you do get res HP 6, so that's good.
Exactly, yeah.
Hunting Chariot has lost spoilers. The Dread Elves are starting to lose their bowlers, and it's got a bit cheaper because of it. So there you go. I quite like it as a thing, but it's just a chariot with a shooting thing, basically.
Yeah.
Reaper batteries have gone up 10 points, and I think that's the most understated increase in the.
You will still see 3 in every army because that is not enough of an increase.
Yeah, I see 630. I'm trying to work out the because it counts towards. Oh no, it's just 0 to 3, isn't it? It's not a percentage.
Yeah, it's 0 to 3.
No, yeah, it's.
It may as well say 0. It may as well scrub off saying 0 to 3.
Yeah, just say.
May as well just say 3 units in your army.
Yeah,
you have 30 less.
But they've gone. I would have put that up at least another 10 points if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But
maybe it's on its way up.
Black Cloaks are the same. They've just lost their bowlers. Yes. Kraken, baby.
I can't believe the Kraken's got cheaper. I'm shocked, but I'm fine with it.
The Colossus as well by 5 points as well. So generally cheaper, which is cool.
Yeah.
As well with like. Oh no, I won't say that. I don't think that's spoiled yet. Right, Hydra is same. Exactly same.
Yeah, he is. Interestingly, they haven't done the whole rage thing, which is now a rulebook rule.
To take it out, you mean?
But I think it's because they have this. The Hydra has a very clear way of gaining wounds, which means the rage is.
Sure.
I don't know.
No, it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they will likely, when you see this, take out the rage,
version.
And it'll just be
they don't need to
rage.
Explain it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
But yeah. Then we go on to Mist Leviathan, and whoa, 5 points cheaper, baby. Back in the game, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the hard target one is nice.
Yes.
If you're taking an infantry elite army, maybe I need to reconsider it. I mean, you're making me want to play Dread Elves when I've still got plenty of Saurians to play. Stop it.
There is. Yeah. But that basically takes us to the end of the Dread Elves.
Yeah, swift going, I think. But at the end of the day, they weren't a recent army as much, so they didn't need quite as much tweaking. And they've had quite a lot of tweaking already on the way to it. So
absolutely.
I think a lot of positive changes. Definitely getting the Spectral Blades in a magic item is the big winner. And we'll see what people think of it.
For sure. And that takes us to the end of the Dread Elves Massive. Relatively little in change and not too much in terms of price changes. I think for the most part, I think it's been pretty even, to be honest. I don't think it's been generally more expensive or generally cheaper. I think they've worked more on internal balance here than external balance. A few slight rule changes, I think, in the character section, which are going to make the list building a lot more interesting.
And a few unnecessary rules taken out of your Corsairs and your suppressing volley, that sort of thing. So, and Thunder Packs maybe more fun. So we'll
I think my inkling is there's still a little bit of work to be done on the Thunder Packs, but certainly in the right direction for sure. But so well done if you got to the end of this. Like, share, subscribe, and do all that jazz. There's plenty more to come, especially in the way of these updates, but also our channel as well. We have Masters coming up, we have tournaments, we have international challenges, all sorts of things, and of course all the wacky and wonderful things we do alongside that.
We definitely do.
Make sure you do subscribe, click all the buttons that hit YouTube algorithm stuffs, because it certainly helps us, and of course comment on the comment section because we love answering all of your calls.
It would be a shame if they commented somewhere else.
Well, equally as impressive as well.
Yes.
We love interacting with you guys, and even if it's you telling us how idiotic we are because we've blatantly missed the most obvious of obvious synergies. That's the way we learn as well. Let us know whether you like this stuff. But otherwise, we will see you next time in
you definitely will. Phase 1.
Phase 1 and other phases are available. See you later.